o'clock this morning, and then Matt Tebbutt takes over in the Saturday Kitchen.
Morning to you, Matt. Can I ask you a question, Matt? Can you see what we're broadcasting right now?
Yes,
there we go. Now,
yes,
Matt,
I can.
I can't see you, but can you see that?
Hang fire. Oh, were they? You're going to say what were they?
Hold
I'm
on.
thinking
so,
they,
Matt,
they
let me
were.
do this properly. Matt, what do you think that is?
I'm glad you asked. I'm thinking they were gingerbread men.
Very good. Very good. Rachel's
not particularly socially distanced anymore.
Exactly.
That's overcooking.
It's Rachel's work.
This was
very nice. It's a good start.
Yeah. So look, I'm not always a terrible cook, Matt, but that was a total failure yesterday.
Well,
but they tasted very good, it has to be said. But we see these images of people in their very perfect lockdown activities, and I thought it's important occasionally to remind ourselves of the reality.
Absolutely, just kind of like redress the balance. I like what you're doing there.
What went wrong, Matt?
I think it looks like you left them in too long, or the mix was too wet or something like that. I mean,
any number of reasons.
Any number of reasons. Yes, but nice try.
Thanks.
Nice try. Hopefully we'll do a bit better here. Now our special guest today is Gary Barlow. Gary, welcome.
How are you doing?
First time on the show.
I know.
What's taking so long?
How have you got away with it?
I know. We're very excited here. Listen, we'll talk all about what's going on in your world in just a bit. Food heaven, food hell.
Yep. Heaven, pies. Love a pie. Being from the up north.
I wasn't expecting that.
Any type
I thought it was
of
going
pie.
to be super healthy.
You could even leave out the bit inside. Just give me the pie.
Just the pastry.
Love that. Love that.
OK, a good pie.
Yeah.
And what about hell?
Pheasant. I ordered it once in a restaurant. I won't say the name of the restaurant. A very good restaurant. I think, if I'm going to have pheasant, I'm going to have it here.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Smelly.
Horrible. I couldn't. It took me about 3 days to get rid of the taste.
Right.
It was disgusting.
Not dramatic then, are you?
No.
Right, two great chefs here as well. Angela Hartnett, what are you making?
I'm going to make a lovely ossobuco with risotto milanese and a little...
Hard, so it's stuffed with meat and rice and cooked in a tomato sauce.
Olia works wonders with cabbage.
Wow.
She does the things she does with
the
cabbage.
queen of cabbage right here.
Brilliant. Ollie's over here, very jealous. He's not in the studio today. Oh. It's like he rehearses. Now, as usual, it's down to you guys at home to decide what Gary eats at the end of the show. Go to the website for voting details, and we'll see you at 10.
Thanks, Matt.
Stay with us, we've got much more to come.
Buried under centuries of history.
Thank you.
Britain's Lost Masterpieces. Starts Monday at 9 on BBC4 and iPlayer.
And clotted cream, there you go. It's Rick Stein's Cornwall at 11:30. It's Saturday morning on BBC One Live.
Good morning. We've got the perfect recipe for you. Amazing chefs, a wine wizard and a singing sensation. Could it be magic? You decide. This is Saturday Kitchen Live. And welcome to the show. Cooking in the studio today, one of our favourite chefs who's retained her Michelin star for the 13th consecutive year, Angela Hartnett. Good morning, Ange.
Morning, how are you?
Very well, thank you. And Olia Hercules, who always brings something new to the table from her brilliant best-selling cookbooks. Good morning, Olia.
Good morning.
You well?
Really well.
Good. He's out of hibernation from his wine cellar over here to join us for the morning. It's Olly Smith. Morning, Ol.
Good morning, Matt. I'm so excited to be here today. Unthawed, ready to rock.
Are you a little bit gutted you're at home and not in the studio?
I'm beside myself with jealousy. I can't bear it. Just save some of his aroma, his essence, anything you can.
Yeah. Now, our special guest today needs no introduction. However, his song titles inspire so many puns that he has to have one. So, here we go. I've been up all night.
Oh.
Right, so don't worry, they're not back for good. He's a singer, songwriter of 1 million love songs, and these days everything changes. But he'll always rule the world. Please welcome Gary Barlow.
Thank you so much.
Gary Barlow.
Lovely to be here. Lovely to be here.
It's taken you ages.
I know. I
We're not
regret
taking it
now.
personally.
No. The smell in the studio
It's good,
is
isn't it?
beautiful.
It's good.
Beautiful.
Last week it stunk of cauliflower. That wasn't so good.
No.
Now listen, Gary, you've had 15 number ones. You've had 11
Keep going.
number one albums.
Just keep adding them
You're
up.
very, very well qualified for your BBC Maestro kind of chats, instruction. We'll talk about that a bit later.
Okay.
But it's much more than that, I think.
Yeah, well, with any of these things, it's about an insight into someone's day, and that's what I try to do, is rather than say, do this, this is how I do it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so
No, I watched it all last night. I think it was fascinating.
All of it? Really?
I did. I honestly did, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Because they're in bite-sized chunks.
Get this man a medal.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Quick.
Well, they bought it for me, so I felt like I had to use it. You know what I mean? Right, you're into your food. Let's see what's on the menu. What have you got that you give a go?
Oh, I'll definitely try it. Just throw it this way, and I'll give it a go.
All right. Ollie, how did you get on matching the wine this week? Yeah, that's an interesting one. I've got a recipe inspired by Rick Stein's travels through France. So I'm going to glaze langoustine tails in a homemade barbecue sauce before grilling them and serving inside little gem lettuce cups with some chopped cashews, chilli, spring onion and creme fraiche. My friend Amanda on Instagram says the 70s called and they want their canapes back. But it's not. It's much more than that. Anyway, now, Gary, at the end of the show, food heaven, food hell. Let's talk about your food heaven.
Heaven is a pie. Any pie, actually. I know you've done a specific one today, but any pie. I love pastry.
OK. And is that kind of rooted in childhood? Is that where it's from?
Possibly. Possibly. I just love it's like a big hug, pie. It's just got everything. Everything you need. OK. I try and balance it off with a little salad to make, you know, make an effort, a little bit of an effort.
Well done.
But I love pies.
OK, and what's your sort of hellish ingredients?
Pheasant. That gamey, strong. Oh,
did you just have a bad experience? Because sometimes they can be left and quite high.
You say that. I ordered it in a very renowned, very beautiful restaurant.
Let's name it.
No. I will tell you in the break. But honestly, I thought if I'm going to try it and unlike it, this is the place I would like it. Horrible.
OK.
Filth. Hated it.
OK. And did you make a scene in the restaurant?
Well, do you know what? It's funny you say that because the waiter actually saw my reaction and he very discreetly came over and said, "Do you want me to change that?" And I went, "Could you please?"
Really?
I wanted to cry.
See, that's what you get in a good restaurant. That kind of slickness. Right. So if the viewers give you heaven, it's going to be your greatest day with lamb pie. So I'm going to fill. There's lots more of these to come. I'm going to fill a short crust pastry pie with slow roasted lamb shoulder. But you better pray the viewers don't give you hell, otherwise it'll be pot roasted pheasant. So I'm going to roast a whole pheasant with some garlic, bay, thyme, coriander. I'm going to serve it with a creamy... So you're going to have to wait till the end of the show to find out which one the viewers vote for. Stop wincing, man. Go log onto the website now where you can have your say and vote for Gary's heaven or hell, and you can view the terms and privacy notices there as well. Now, as ever, you've been sending us pictures of your dishes that you've been creating at home. Where's my... Artie. James is giving veganuary a go, so decided to make Nicholas Eksted's roasted celeriac from Saturday Kitchen Best Bites. That's delicious. You ever tried that? Whole roasted celeriac?
Yeah, I like whole roasted cauliflower as well.
Very nice.
Yes, yeah.
Finally, there's some friendly rivalry developing amongst our shots.
Beautiful.
It's all
Portrait
kind of about
mode.
soft focus.
Portrait mode.
That is food pornography.
Yeah.
If I can say that, I'm not sure. Keep them coming in, and Brian, up your game. Keep them coming in and send them to saturday.kitchen.
Problems now on social media.
Ground beef. Don't put ground beef on a pizza.
No. Right, take that bit off. God, you have to
Get
work
hungry
a
here,
lot
Ange.
You have to work a lot when you're not helping. You're running backwards and forwards, you know. So, right, nice bit of the sauce on there.
And that's 2 hours, Angela.
Yeah, 2 to 2.5 hours. But, well, try it. I think you've got a spoon. You should be able to just cut it.
Yeah.
Cut the meat without using a knife and, you know, and then, and then you've got the wonderful bone marrow in here, which to me is your sort of...
Absolutely.
Beautiful, the fat from that bone marrow, you put that in and sort of mix it into your risotto. Oof. And we were, I don't know if you've got a dog or anything, but we share my sister's dog and we give him the bone marrow.
Yeah,
and then he basically...
That's very generous. Right, Angela, looks fantastic. Remind us what it's called?
Ossobuco with risotto Milanese.
Brilliant.
Lovely. Oh, I'm not allowed any, aren't you? Sorry.
Right, there you go, Gary. There's your first dish. Try that. Right, Ollie, while we dig into this, what wine have we got here?
We have a tremendous recipe, wonderful dish, a classic pairing. It's a Chianti Classico. This particular example, high-altitude Chianti, and that's what makes it special. It's the altitude that gives finesse, and for me, Chianti is the top-value premium wine on the UK shelves at the moment. It's unmissable.
It's really good, really.
Works
you like
well.
that?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not tasting it. Does it work well, Matt?
It does work. It works a treat. How is that, Gary?
Amazing.
Yeah?
Angela, exceptional.
It's good.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Really,
And
really
so
good.
is that, Ollie. That really...
Good start,
Makes a
right?
difference, right?
Good start.
Yeah.
I'm going to save that
Cheers.
bone marrow for just
Cheers.
a bit. I've got to read this first. Olia Hercules will be back later with her take on a classic Ukrainian dish. Plus, we'll be announcing some of the winners from the thousands of home heroes that you nominated to get one of our restaurant boxes. And you can still send in your foodie photos or questions to us at saturday.kitchen@cactustv.co.uk. Roasted pheasant, smelly pheasant, with a creamy walnut sauce. Go and log on to the website now and have your say. It's not smelly. Right, so while I polish this off, let's catch up with Rick now in France. And this week he's in the Auvergne. So I'm going to brush that and I'm going to serve them in little gem lettuce cups. So it's a bit of a sort of a canapé affair. Right, so let's get on with this. And while this barbecue sauce is coming along, Gary, you're a very keen cook, aren't you?
I do like to cook, definitely, yeah.
Would you say have you got much more sort of disciplined with what you eat as you...
Well, you know what? Cookery for me was... I had a few years where I struggled with weight and actually...
Don't we all, Gary?
Getting control of where the food was coming from and knowing what was in it was actually part of... Right, now I understand if I mix this with this and I know what... You know, it's more about trusting what I was putting in my body and I really fell in love with it and enjoyed it.
I mean, you seem sort of pretty, I'd say, disciplined in a lot of avenues of your life. I mean, I picked this up from the show last night, the BBC Maestro show. And it's a really good watch. Tell us, give us the premise, of just an overview of what it's all about.
Well, it's a series. It's bbcmaestro.com. It's a series of well, they call them experts. I would never call myself an expert. However, you know, when the idea came up, you know, I can't teach anyone to do what I do, but you can come into my studio for a day and watch what I do in those few hours, and that's how we actually filmed it. I just said, listen, don't give me any liners. Let me just do my process.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah.
So it's not scripted?
Not at all. No, I arrived at the studio that day with a song title. That's all I had. I really was strict on myself. I thought I want people to see how this goes. So, you know, obviously I don't talk to myself as I'm writing normally in the day, but I took them through the whole process. And they filmed it all and they've edited it into this series. And it is interesting even watching back some of the decisions I make. It's not dissimilar to cookery, really. You know, you start off with raw ingredients and you try and make it into something special and emotional.
Well, we've got a little clip here of the process. Let's just have a look at this. I have to say, it's much more than a kind of musical instruction. I think it's almost like autobiographical, because you get much more kind of insight into you. And it's, OK, you know, you talk about, in many elements, about how the process works. But what you really get is you eyeballing down the camera and giving your passion for what you do.
Well, that's the key, and it's the bit I want to try and bring out in people is that, you know, we're in a period right now where we have time on our side, and if you have any inkling for wanting to write lyrics or you want to write melody, this is the time to get in there. And it was part of the reason I decided to do this, was that it's about, you know, if you're passionate about something, make use of this moment right now. Because I am truly passionate about what I do. I love music and I love to feel. I love music to heighten my emotions, and that's what I get excited about. And I can't tell you the amount of times that I've gone into my studio on just a normal day, and what I've written that day has honestly changed the course of my life.
Wow, that's incredible.
And that's music.
And I have to say, probably a lot of other people's lives, because everyone sort of leaps on a song. And it's a memory in the past of what they were doing at the time, and so, I mean, it's, you know...
How many weddings have you been played as the first song? Can you imagine? There must be
and funerals.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm afraid,
But is it music or words? I mean, I know that's a bit of a stupid question. What comes first, or is it in conjunction?
I'll tell you, what comes before that is emotion.
Yes,
and that can often tell, you know, make a lyric from a magazine or something on the radio, that can bring that, and it can mean something. And as long as it means something to you, then it's honest. And you know, all of a sudden, if it means something to you, it could mean something to someone else as well. And that's the connection of music. I
think that's the word you've just said, honesty. And it's a bit, that's where the similarity, I think, like you say, with food. Because I think if you feel you're not believing in what you're cooking, or you don't believe in what you're writing or performing, it's shown, isn't it? It's so obvious it's fake.
And the thing is, as well, is that, you know, from that clip we saw, that little studio where you're by yourself, all of a sudden, you know, the exciting bit and the bit that I get a tingle when I think about it is then you're looking out and there's Wembley Stadium singing the song back to you.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, you know, why do you go to work every day? Hey, guess what? I'll give you a clue. So it's a thrill. It's thrilling.
Of course.
Well, before we carry on with that, let's just recap this recipe, because you can just play around. I mean, some have got booze in them. Which is nice, but I mean,
which is nice.
Which is nice. So that was nice.
Tomato sauce used a lot in. I've seen that before.
Yeah, I mean it's sweet.
Right.
Yeah. You know, it's tomatoey. It's sweet.
Yeah.
It sort of ticks the boxes. So I'm just going to paint that a little bit, and then grill that. But let's just go back to the Maestro. I think what came out with it, as well as your passion, the honesty that we were just talking about. Because there was a beautiful moment where you talk about your first keyboard and how your dad gave up his holiday so he could afford the keyboard, and you know, thank God he did.
I know.
And thank God you gave up your plastic BMX Skyway wheels.
I know.
I remember that. It was like, I was thinking plastic wheels, and I
Men of a certain age.
I remember that. Because I always wanted them.
And you know what? As a parent now, it makes those decisions when kids get into the. I mean, good grief, I wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for my dad. He sold 40 days back to his work to get the money to buy me this keyboard.
God, that's incredible.
And I was definitely passionate, but there was another thing in it that I didn't want to let my dad down.
Yeah,
you know. So I did. I pretty much from that day on, I never stopped playing.
Yeah.
But there was. I mean,
so proud.
The way you talk about instruments as well, and how lovely it is on a Sunday afternoon to spend 2 hours playing. And, you know, that's one thing. And then you think, imagine playing with musicians. And they're doing their bit because they're showing off. And then you do your bit. And it all sort of comes together. Yeah. It's a great watch.
And do you know what? I must say that you know, you've probably heard a lot of people in the music industry talk about not being on stage at the moment. It's definitely a big thing, but actually the thrill and you know, playing with other musicians is another big thing that I know my friends are missing. And that's where you've probably seen a lot of the stuff I do online with the Crooner sessions. You know, part of that is me needing that feeling of playing with human beings. It's just such a great thing. Music is a language, and when you talk that language with other musicians, there's nothing quite like it.
With the Crooner sessions, Gary, they seem very kind of immediate and very kind of honest. How much pre-production goes into them? Because they are absolutely brilliant.
Well, do you know what? I'd like to say that we've done nearly 70 so far of those sessions. And actually, my wife pointed it out. Over the years, I've made so many good friends in my industry. And who knew I'd be calling on all of them at this time? Oh, come on the show, will you, mate? And it's been truly great. And actually, the fun bit is actually the bit you don't see on the show, is the bit where they call you in the afternoon and you rehearse the song and you know, you pick the favourite bit you want to do. That's the thrill of it. It's really brilliant.
And Series 1 had 94 million views.
Yeah, we never knew either that people were going to hook. I think that's the great thing with a lot of these things that have been born out of this time, is that you go into them thinking it's going to be one thing, and it found this audience.
You think you'll carry on after lockdown?
We're still doing it now.
Brilliant.
I would like to say it's a lockdown only. Activity.
Keeps it unique in a way.
Keeps it unique.
I mean, so a couple of the highlights for me was Mark Owen, who looked like he was busking in his own garage.
Yeah, he was. He actually was.
and Sir Cliff, who looked like he was probably in Barbados, in his bathroom.
Yeah.
I was
good
acoustics behind him.
Yeah, he said it had good acoustics, so I'm going to shoot it in here.
Oh, it was almost like he wasn't supposed to be doing it, so he hid himself in the bathroom.
We don't talk anymore in Cliff's bathroom. No, it has been great fun, and I have to tell you, I have shot the season finale already.
Really?
And it's with a global superstar.
Oh, God,
and there's only one way to finish this series, and it's with that. But I can't tell you who it is.
Okay, all right. We look forward to that. Amazing.
Right. On that cliffhanger, let's just drag back.
No, when you're going to be back here, Is it after lockdown?
I don't know.
or-
As soon as I possibly can, I'd love to be in there, tasting the food, pouring the wine again. I love it.
Yeah.
It's like performing live. You know, I remember Matt and I were lucky enough to see you nearly a year ago, I reckon. I miss those
Remind
times.
us of this story. How did you cost poor Gary on a cruise? Do tell.
It was a marvellous evening to do with cruise ships. We had a phenomenal time. Gary gave the most incredible performance supporting a new ship. And it was one of those moments where you realise, you know, I've not met Gary before, but I realised you were genuinely a fan of Saturday Kitchen.
Definitely.
You started talking about it on stage.
We were so excited. We looked like a couple of children going, he's looked at us.
Do you know, the great thing about having you there, though, is because you're feeding everyone drink, I sound so much better. I love that.
You are you're a musical director on that ship, aren't you?
I got involved purely by accident, really. I mean, they came to me with all these ideas, and I thought, I can't help with this, but I've had great fun.
You're too humble.
Curating the music.
Amazing.
It's been really good. I want to start making some shows for the ship.
Well,
I love it.
Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll happen this year.
He'll be one of the backing singers.
Right, you two tuck into that. So just to recap, the Longestein's barbecue sauce, a little bit of creme fraiche. I've got some pickled chilies, some cashew nuts and spring onion for a little bit of crunch on the top. That is it, really. Quite expensive, but a nice kind of treat. What will I be making for Gary at the end of the show? Will it be his food heaven? Lamb pie. If so, I'm going to fill a short crust pastry pie with slow roasted lamb shoulder, onions, carrots, celery and red wine. I'm going to serve that with a fennel, carrot and celeriac salad and a mustard dressing. Or will it be his food hell? Roasted pheasant with a creamy walnut sauce. So I'm going to pot roast a whole pheasant with some garlic, some bay, some thyme, coriander. I'm going to serve that with a creamy walnut sauce, some walnut oil, paprika, topped with some pomegranates. Go and log onto the website now and have your say. How is that?
Delicious.
Delicious.
Don't waste the Longestein's. Right, time now for a bit of nostalgia with Keith. Thanks for that, Keith. A bygone era where strict health and safety rules clearly didn't exist. And what a dish that was. I'm sure you'll all be recreating that at home later. Still to come, we'll reveal some of the home heroes that you nominated to win a restaurant box. What are you doing?
I'm making Ukrainian rolls. Today I'm using chard instead of cabbage.
OK.
For the sauce, we've just got a little bit of butter, onion, tomato, garlic, and creme fraiche to finish it off.
Right.
And then for the filling, we've got our beef, pork, but you can use any meat you like, really, and a little bit of onion, season it well, wrap it in the leaves, you know, done.
OK.
Oh.
Yes, of course. I mean, who wasn't? But yeah, I've got a really funny story if you want to hear it.
Uh-oh.
No, we haven't got time. Yes, of course we do.
No, it's a sweet one. Okay, so in the 90s, you know, post-Soviet kind of times, VHSs were a real rarity, and my dad managed to get one. And we used to go to this guy's house who would have these pirate copies of, you know, tapes, basically. And we had this one particular tape which had loads of music videos. And, you know, me and my brother used to dance to them. So there'd be like Nirvana, followed by Deep Purple, followed by MC Hammer. So we'd do the crab dance. And then it would be Take That. With that black and white video with the rain and everything. That was just amazing.
Back for good.
What a great
back
video
for
that
good,
was.
isn't it good? Yeah.
I mean,
so
I
love
admire
it.
your honesty, Olia. However, how do you feel about the whole pirate thing? Maybe you should give him the 10 quid
I
now.
mean, it was the roughest
no royalties
90s
going.
in the post-Soviet Union space. Like, that's what happens. It's all right. It was a long time ago. Yeah, and then, so I'm just going to wrap these up. Well, you have loads of fans, obviously. I'm sure loads of people have the same story as me.
In the last few years, we've been offered more in that region. I'd love to go there. Yeah.
You'd love it. It's super fun now and really delicious.
Is there
food
Ukrainian
as well.
restaurants in the UK? I've never eaten
Well,
Ukrainian
we were
food.
talking about this in rehearsals. I mean, I would say it's largely kind of
pop-up kind of thing.
Yeah, I believe I went to one in Shepherd's Bush many years ago, but I can't recall any. I'm sure anyone out there, if you know any, then get in touch and let us know.
There's this really sweet one called Pampushki in Soho in London that I went to, and the chef is actually English, and he cooks really beautiful Ukrainian food.
Right.
Well, hopefully I'll be able to do something.
Are you going to do pop-ups and stuff, right?
Quite filling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Filling, quite simple as well, as you have seen. You know, it doesn't take very long. And it's just really delicious.
So these kind of rustic dishes, they're just always delicious. It's where some of the best cooking of a country comes from.
Yeah, I believe so. You know, just like your grandma, your mum would make. Yeah. So here we are, plenty of sauce, beautiful filling, and charred leaves for your veg.
Very nice. So what do you call it in Ukrainian?
These are holubtsi, and they are charred rolls with pork and beef and a beautiful tomato sauce with creme fraiche.
Brilliant. Ace. Right.
Oh.
Still hungry?
Oh, I hate this job.
It's good, isn't it?
Fabulous.
I know, we pinch ourselves every week. Right, there you go.
Here comes Ollie.
Right, so Ollie, another red.
Another red indeed. So this is world, they used it for communion wine. And these days you find lots of old vines in Chile that are producing top quality fruit. Now this is $7.99 in Majestic. And to me, it tastes like one of those really expensive ancient Pinot Noirs that's been aged. You get an earthiness, you get a savoury character on the aromas. But then when you taste it, it's so bright and refreshing for a red wine. It's a real shortcut to top quality by choosing old vines from a location in Chile that's up and coming. Right. And País has a bright future.
That's delicious. And that was communion wine.
Well, they used to make it into communion wine. Yeah, when the conquistadors came down, it was one of the first vines to be planted. Okay. So these days, you've got lots and lots of old vines. And old vines always give top quality. So to find a wine for $7.99 with this provenance, natural yeast, carbonic maceration, really cleverly made, it's something of an anomaly, and I think it's brilliant. They know over to you guys, see what you think.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. Do you like that, Olia?
I've been waiting for this moment for the whole week.
The homeschooling.
Yes, you didn't disappoint, Ollie. Thanks so much. It's amazing.
How is
really
that,
delicious.
The wine's delicious. That is really beautiful.
It's great.
Simple.
Every time she comes on.
I don't like food too complicated. That is so beautiful.
Really good, isn't it? Delicious. Delicious. Right, from Ukraine. Thanks for that, ladies. Right, the website vote is now closed. We're going to find out if Gary is facing his food heaven or food hell very soon, if he puts that wine down. Now, a couple of weeks ago, when we featured restaurant boxes from Rick Stein, Tommy Banks, Vivek Singh and Angela over here, we asked you to nominate someone close to you who you thought deserved a box as a thank you.
Has been offering free rides to nurses who need to get to work and to elderly passengers going to their vaccinations. He also uses his cab to deliver food parcels to those in need. He also sounds amazing.
Brilliant stories. Ollie, you've got...
Which she then cooks into meals and delivers to the vulnerable and homeless in her area. Brilliant.
And finally, Gary, you've got one for us.
Sure, this is a good one. Terence has nominated his postman, Darren, love a postman, who after his long shifts goes around his whole route again collecting food from his local food, for his local food bank. He has delivered an incredible 3 tons of food so far on his own.
3 tons? That's amazing. Well, listen, from all of us here, we want to say a huge thank you to everyone that sent in nominations, but especially to all the thousands of people who were nominated. Every single one of you are doing amazing things, so choosing just 12 was incredibly hard. All the winners have been contacted, and I really hope you enjoy a well-deserved treat. Please keep up the good work. It's great to see people coming together and doing exceptional things, and it really is Britain at its very, very best. Well done. So, will Gary be facing his food heaven, lamb pie with a carrot and fennel salad, or his food hell, pot-roasted pheasant with a creamy walnut sauce? Have a little patience, and we're going to find out after Nadiya makes an avocado. It's the last one. Avocado and radish ceviche. Take a look. Thanks for that, Nadiya. Right, let's find out what Gary is facing. Is it going to be food heaven, lamb? Is it going to be food hell, smelly pheasant?
Have you ever had a guest storm off?
Oh, no, you could be the first. Not on my watch. Where do you think we're going with this?
Oh, come on, it's got to be a pie.
Well, does it?
Come on.
Does it? It was a big turnout today.
Was it?
Yeah, really big.
Everyone loves Gary.
Oh,
I can tell you... Oh, it's pheasant.
You're kidding.
I am kidding! Just my joke. 64% of people want you to have lamb, so yeah, well done. Don't forget, both these recipes... both the recipes are on the website. What do you mean not happy with that? Wow. Diva, Barlow.
Oh, yeah. All the way, mate. All the way. Yeah.
OK, so let's talk about it. Really, really simple. So I've got the shoulder of lamb. Really, really good piece of lamb. That's to lighten the load, because that's kind of the thing you go for, right? Rather than a load of mash or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. Nice balance. And
Yeah.
also something, you know, with a bit of crisp to it.
Yeah, texture.
Yeah,
Nice,
yeah.
Yeah, so we're doing a little fennel and carrot and celeriac salad. There's a bit of mustard dressing. So that, yeah,
Great.
about 5 hours.
Wow, OK.
And it just to the point where it sort of falls apart, really. So what is it about? What's that? Oh.
Sorry. Just to jump in, I was just going to say, talking of falling apart, I think the nation would love to hear the story of the chef who used to have a life-size cardboard cutout of Gary Barlow in his flat.
Do you really?
Yes,
Really?
I think they'd love it, Matthew.
Okay, so
It's true.
I'll carry on cooking. I won't stand here long. So I was always a Take That fan. And when I moved into London, my flatmate, Ant, thanks very much, Anthony, he bought me a life-size cutout of you.
No way.
And it was back in the 90s, and you had a pair of shades on and one of those vest tops that were very popular.
With the cleavage?
Yeah!
Yeah. I remember it. Them were the days.
I know, they were great. I had one of those until my wife threw it away. I loved it.
Yeah,
But that's
the
what they...
90s.
Yeah,
Good.
so there you
Good
were,
decade.
in our living room, by the window, in our basement flat, keeping the burglars at bay. Because every time somebody went by, they looked in, it's Gary Barlow. We're not going in there.
Oh, dear. Wow.
Anyway, thank you for that, Ollie.
The question is, do you still have Gary?
I don't, sadly.
I'll get you a new one.
I don't. You
Got more
you still have
clothes
them?
on. More
I bet you've got a
clothes
house
on
full.
now. Yeah.
In every window.
The clothes have increased over the years, thankfully.
Have you still got the vest off?
I haven't got the vest on. It's funny, I saw a picture, you know, the danger with all this online stuff is it's fabulous, but you can't get rid of your past.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And I saw it. I'm going to post it after this now, because I saw it, I thought, wow, there's a cleavage there. At 22.
I used to love a vest top. My missus, when I got back together with my missus, she threw them away. I thought it was outrageous.
Yeah.
Get you on your next birthday. Get Mitch on it, it'd be great.
OK, so veg in there. Just leave it alone.
Leave it.
Yes.
Leave it. Yeah.
And then it doesn't come out looking like that. That's been shredded. But you just kind of gently pull it apart. And that's it. This is a really nice pastry recipe. Nice, and it has to have a bottom, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
OK, so
I know you were
Be a
chatting
pie.
about it.
Soggy.
Yeah.
Soggy bottom.
Do you put lard in your pastry?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, so that's
Dirty
the best
lard.
pastry, it's the best pastry.
Gary, we haven't talked on that. Music played by humans. A lot of collaborations on it.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I've always wanted to make an album with an orchestra. And it's crazy, really, because I came off the last Take That tour in 2019 and I had this idea of, right, I'm going to do an orchestral album. And we did all the recordings and finished our last recording with, I think, about 70 people 10 days before lockdown.
Oh, really?
I was so relieved.
Wow.
Because obviously, you know, recording orchestras, they
of
have to
course.
be in a room together. You can't really fake that.
Yeah. Well, we've got
so,
Sorry, carry on.
yeah, no, you know, as well as the orchestra, it's funny, we're in a time where we're being told to stay away from one another. It's been, out of all the albums I've ever made, I've had more guests on this than I've ever had.
Yeah.
So it's kind of was meant to be, really, this whole record. So I can't make this record at the moment, so I'm thankful we did.
Glad you got it done.
Yeah.
Well, we got a little clip. This is you and Beverly Knight.
Yes, the wonderful Beverly Knight.
Enough is enough. Let's have a listen now.
Yeah.
She's just got the most amazing voice.
Forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw one of the Crooner sessions with her.
Yeah.
And it was so casual. She was
Oh, it is.
outside in the garden. It looked like we were in a park.
Yeah.
Doing an Aretha cover.
Yeah, I mean, when you say you've got it, she's got it, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the thrill for me is that, you know, when you say, oh, we've got Beverly Knight coming to the studio today, it's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and usually you ask her to sing it twice just because you want to hear it again, not because she's done anything wrong.
Right.
But no, we enjoyed making this record, and yeah, it's been great fun watching people respond to it, especially Ollie's dance moves there.
I love it. You know what, Gary? Another great track. I love This Is My Time. I thought it was brilliant.
Oh,
and just
thank
it
you.
feels like someone's, you know, performing an entire musical in your heart when you hear a song like that. I love it.
Thank
just
you.
makes you feel so good. Are you
Ollie-
going to do musical theatre? Is that ever a kind of thought?
Oh no, I'm not. I can't act. But Ollie, those moves took me back to 1991 when we were. You've been hiding them away for 30 years.
not progressing.
Very good, very good.
I'm glad he did it. Takes the heat off me. Right, so pie lid on. Right.
We're hoping. I mean, my dates are November, December. I don't know.
And then you would get people who've sung with you on the tour as well, or would you be?
Well, my goal is, you know, our industry's been hit like yours has, and I'd love to fill the stage with musicians, like as many, like a big orchestra on stage.
Yeah, for sure.
If we can do it, we'll be out there.
Yeah.
But you know, for anyone who's got tours out there right now and they have to move them, when it's safe, we'll be back.
Yeah, of course.
We will be back, because there's nothing more important than the audience.
I think there'll be a crazy resurgence. I mean, you know, I love outside gigs, like Hyde Park and everything. It'd be amazing.
They were all pretty nuts beforehand. Can you imagine what they're going to be like afterwards?
It's going to be brilliant.
It's going to be like playing Ireland every night.
To every restaurant and every...
We always say the Irish gigs are the loudest, the proudest, and it's going to be like playing Dublin every night.
Fantastic.
But that's what you want, right? That's kind of reaction, presumably. And is that one of your favourite places to play?
Do you know what? We have an unusual audience. Our audience come ready for action. And they always have done. It's like every day's Christmas. And I think other bands must look at us a bit envious because they're amazing. And they've been with us for years and years. They're like family to us.
Do you know what? I was talking to my friend Jo the other day. She's seen every single one of your concerts twice.
Really?
Which I told her was stalker level.
I'm just checking.
He's in that dressing room now,
But you have, I mean, you've got very loyal fans. I mean, after going away for, what, 10 years, was it?
Yes, 10 years.
And then coming back, and then it must have been, enormous relief, but almost just like, this is brilliant. These people have just followed us all this time and
you know
still
what?
want to see us.
I remember the first night we did after being away for 10 years. We played Newcastle, another Goldie. You know,
brilliant.
the Geordies know how to...
You're picking all the party towns.
But I remember the gig felt like 5 minutes long because we hadn't done anything for it, but just craziness. It was just wonderful. It really was.
There you go, try that. I forgot to do you a portion.
Terrific.
It's all about Gary.
It's not.
And I'm very happy with that.
Normally I'd share, but we're not allowed.
COVID.
Sorry, Ange.
Don't worry.
This looks
Right, you tuck into that.
I already got my wine and everything.
Ollie, what have we got to go with this?
We've got Morrison's The Best Marquez de Rioja is always a good choice. If you want a treat, Grand Reserva has been aged, it's ready to drink, and it's hard to beat for an absolutely sumptuous treat. Hope it sends you to heaven, Gary. Cheers.
Oh, what a sign-off. How was that, Gary? nothing like eating on live TV, eh?
That
Smells
is
so
amazing.
good, man. Delicious.
What a way to sign off. Sadly, that's all we've got time for on today's Saturday Kitchen Live. Thanks to Olia, Angela, Ollie, and of course, Gary. All the recipes from the studio are on the website, bbc.co.uk/Saturday Kitchen. Now, I've got more Best Bites for you tomorrow at 10 a.m. on BBC Two. I'll be back here live next week with Jose Pizarro, Paul A. Young, and special guests Layla Ruas and Ronnie O'Sullivan. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.